Welcome to this latest edition of the Real Deal Podcast. I'm your host, Cyril Gerald Quinn, episode 849 of the Real Deal Podcast, of course, season 15. I am, of course, joined by one Robert Sapp, who is here to take his medicine, and he's ready to go. Mr. Sapp, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain. How are you doing today?
Glad to be doing this podcast. Certainly, we've been. This is a been waiting for this one. You know, we miss Sat when he's gone, so it was a little lonely last week, but he's back. So of course, episode 850 is coming up next week. I'm not going to do anything spectacular for 850. I'll wait till 900. Wait till 900. I spent I don't know how much excess in terms of rollouts for season 15. So we'll wait. 850 is a big deal, but we'll wait till 900 to get something really going, to get something to kind of celebrate. But 850 will be a big deal. So as always, we begin the podcast with the themes of the week. My theme was down goes, should be goes. The heavyweights, of course, you had Kansas City and Buffalo falling. I predict that will be the last week that both those teams lose in the same week. I'm just gonna go out on the limb. What did you have as a theme for this week 3?
No, I think that's a very good thing because like that I'll get to how I personally feel about my team in a bit, but I remember looking at that. I remember looking at that score early on with Kansas City when they was down. I was like, nobody's worried about that score. They gonna blow these guys.
Yeah. Right.
It didn't even occur to me they could lose. Because I was out doing a lot of stuff yesterday, so I had to catch up on highlights and stuff and then watch the games after the fact. When I saw that score, when it's Sunday Night Football, it was the first time I got a chance to sit down and watch a whole game.
Right.
Like right there in person, outside the Buffalo one early on. I lied. I did watch the Buffalo one. But outside of that, it was so I was just stunned by that score. So I just stunned that they lost. So yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense that is it makes sense that we both have the same kind of frame. Down go to heavyweight.
Yeah, I wasn't shocked by the Buffalo loss on the road. We know how talented Miami is, but very perplexing loss with Kansas City, Indiana. We'll get to that game. Let's go. Let's get right to it. The Buffalo segment. I know you have a lot to say, so I'll give you a couple of thoughts on this game. Buffalo outgains Miami 497 to 212. They completely dominated time possession. Had the ball 40 minutes. You have Josh Allen throwing for over 400 yards, 63 passes. I'm sure you weren't in love with that. Tua, of course, should have, maybe been out the game with a concussion. We've seen that type of thing before. Ben Roethlisberger against the Ravens in the playoff game, so that's nothing new under the sun for the NFL. Here's what I'll say about this. I couldn't be any more impressed. I couldn't be more impressed with Miami from the standpoint of I walk out of the game still thinking Buffalo is clearly a better team because they are. But Miami, I went into that game saying, hey, can Miami physically stand up to Buffalo? Can they or will they get tapped out like Buffalo's first two opponents? Tennessee and Los Angeles physically tapped out around the third quarter, and Buffalo destroyed both of them. Not only does Miami think about winning the game, this is bigger than actually winning the game, because I think that Miami not getting punked was more important than actually winning the game. You can win on some fluke shit. You can win there. There are games that you can get that you can win in the NFL that are absolutely fool's gold. Miami made a statement saying, "Hey, we're here. Like we know you're the more experienced team. They're ahead of them as far as like from the standpoint of being on that championship ladder. But we have no fear of you. We have no fear of you, and we physically can stand up to you." And they absolutely did that. They 100% did that. So from that standpoint, I was thoroughly impressed with Miami because there were times. Listen, they had again. Buffalo had the ball for 40 minutes. We're talking 100-degree heat, even though Miami should be used to it, but still, Buffalo has been physically manhandling their first two opponents. So the ideal that Miami did not tap out and were able to finish that game, even though we didn't like their finish was insane with something with the butt punt and some of the play call, the pass out of the end zone was just I mean, I don't know what the hell McMichael was doing on that play call, but whatever. They win the game. A game that Buffalo clearly outplayed them in from point of attack. We know this, but to me, this was about Miami mentally and physically standing up to the mighty Buffalo Bills. Your thoughts?
All the thoughts. All the thoughts. So, I think like the way that I would say it is that when the game, as the week progressed, my confidence or my worry about Miami grew and grew because our defensive backfield is decimated, and we understand what Miami can do. So that's where I was with that. And then I watched the game, and what happened? I listened to the game because I was on the move, so I have different things where I can listen to the broadcast of the game, and then I saw the game. That's how that broke down. When I saw the game, when I listened to the game, it didn't make any sense to me how we lost that game. And then when I saw the game, it still didn't make sense to me how we lost the game. So my point is, it's not that we lost, because I could sense that this was going to be a old school kind of like AFC East matchup. But the way we lost the game is the thing that I will never be able to handle. This was a bad loss, and I can't handle bad losses. I'm not equipped emotionally to deal with this like that because I can't handle. You should have won the game. You did all the things. You didn't win the game. That's not a thing I can justify in my mind. So I say that to say that it was super frustrating to have all of that dominance in terms of yardage and time possession, and then not come away with the win, especially when I watch Miami make really dumb mistakes that should cost the team a game, and it doesn't as well. So the entire thing I'm very frustrated with. With that being said, it perplexed me how we lost that game. So I watched the game a third time. And you know me, I don't watch losses over and over again. That's not a thing I like to do. And so when I watched it that third time, it finally hit me what bothered me about the game. And you're right, it's the passes. I mean, everybody's seen the footage of our offensive coordinator in the booth going crazy. And he should have, because that was a poor way to frame a game and to call a game, a game that is under those weather conditions, and a game in which it was close all the way through. There's no excuse for 63 passes. There just is none. That means you didn't even attempt to run the ball. And so, yeah, you like how Miami got physical with us. I wish we could have responded in time. I really do. But we didn't even give ourselves that opportunity. Instead, what we did do is we completely decimated and exhausted our skill position players. And so why did those miscues happen? Why did everything like that? Because everybody was either exhausted from the heat, or exhausted from the week of drives by the time that we got to the end of it. So if you're calling that many plays, you better get a bunch of chunk plays, because the ideal, and I said this to my brother before we talked, I wasn't on last week to say this on this show, But obviously, with a decimated defense and everything, the game plan is, and you have a high-powered offense on the other side, you limit their possessions. That's obviously the game plan. I get that they were going to try to do that. It's the way that they did it that I have the ultimate problem with. I will always have the ultimate problem with. And this is something long-standing from last year and the year before with me. And this is just in my DNA. You run the ball. Like, you have an effective running game. Like, that just has to happen. I don't give a damn what year it is. I know what year it is. I know what the rules are skewed, everything. And this is a perfect example of a game. When you need it all the time, absolutely not. But when you do need it, you need to be in the practice of using it. And so I don't care that we beat the other team by a bajillion points without really running the ball. The point is you still do it in those types of games so that when you do need it, you can run the ball. A lot of people, I heard the comparisons to the win game last year, and it's exactly, yep, exactly. We needed to be a better running team, and we need to practice being a better running team. I get that Josh Allen's super talented. I get he's superstar. I get all those different things. That's still no excuse not to run the ball. We didn't even test Miami's physicality. We didn't even try to wear the defensive line. You know this, I know this. Other people are stupid when they don't think this way. But and I'm saying it. Yeah, I said it. Passing a 3-yard pass is not the same thing as a 3-yard run.
No, not even close. Not even close. No.
Supplementing the run game with the pass game. You're freaking passing the ball. But that physicality is taken out of it, and what you end up doing is leaning on your skill position players, which under good conditions is most likely the right way to go. But under other types of conditions that make it challenging for your skill position players, you better have a good running game to back that up, so that you could still institute the same type of game plan. Control the clock, dominate the time possession, ideally dominate the yard, but you don't wear out your skill position players. So hopefully that's the lesson that they took away from this one. I'll be interested to see if it is. Everything after that pretty much lines up with what everybody's talking about. You know, the heat was unbearable, and that had impacts on both teams, as you can see. I mean, like, when you look at the stats, you had the number 1 and number 2 offenses, the offensive passing leaders. You had the top 3 receiving targets in the league in this game, and you don't get fireworks. That's the weather. That's the weather. It was even hot for the Miami players.
Right.
And so there's that, and then of course we just had the injuries everywhere.
5 defensive starters
and after the game played, which then limited the impact. But I will say this: I'm damn proud of this defense.
And the defense played. No, the defense is fine. No, your defense is
your
defense is fine.
No. I'm damn proud. No, not fine. I'm
That's
damn
great. No,
proud.
the defense played great. They did that. No, defense did their job.
No, damn that. And we had a brand new secondary.
Right. I completely agree with that.
I'm proud of them. No, not a good job. Not a good job. I'm proud of them. And they don't get mentioned anywhere near at all, to be honest with you. And they need to mention all
they should.
the time.
Yes.
They played they asses.
Yes. Yep.
This is on the offense. This is on the offensive game plan. It is just simple.
Yeah, so I got 2 follow-ups to what you said. One, when you have the ball for 40 minutes, the other team should be tapped out. That's number 1. So that's in connection with, like you said, the play calling. Miami should have been tapped out without question. You should have. I anticipated the game would go like, all right, it'll be close for 3 quarters, but then your physicality will take over in the 4th quarter, and you'll win somewhere by between 10 to 14 points, or 10 to 13, something like that. That's what I anticipated. Yeah. The second part
would have been nice.
The second part is, I wonder, again, I don't think that this will be a major problem moving forward. I'm definitely not overreacting to this loss, but I wonder if another challenge is that Josh Allen is so fucking talented that you get enamored with that talent, and it just kind of blinds you in terms of doing what you're supposed to do as far as physical football, running the football, things of that nature. and with your play calling. So that's just
So this is what you take out. Oh, keep going. Sorry.
That's just something to keep an eye on. I don't think that's going to be a major factor moving forward. Like they know how to use Josh Allen and what have you. But that's just a little thing to think about moving forward. Like not to get so enamored with Josh Allen that it's like you're putting everything on Josh Allen. No, you have a complete team. You don't need to put. This is not the Cardinals with Kyler Murray. Everything needs to be on Kyler Murray because the rest of the team is just not there per se. No, you or Joe Burrow. Josh Allen has Josh Allen is an MVP candidate. He's a great player. But you have like your defense is phenomenal. You have a complete football team. Period. So it should just not be about Josh Allen. That's my point.
Yeah. And that, I mean, like it's a great point. I mean, like here's why the reality of the situation is Josh Allen is in the middle of the MVP campaign, so
yes,
they gonna let him cook, like for real this year, like for real. No jokes aside.
No, he's gonna cook.
Something. It just means something up to him personally, and it means something there. And then also here's my thing. I will eviscerate my team. Don't you worry about it. And so like here's the other part of that. It's not about enamored because that's been the push and pull with the Bills since Josh Allen's gotten good. Is McDermott wants to be ball control. He wants that, and the offensive coordinators are enamored with Josh Allen and his talent. But in particular, now we have his quarterback coach calling plays, and that was a first time play caller, quarterback coach call game.
Right.
That was not somebody who is been in the offensive coordinator seat from all angles. That's not their type of game. You can tell that was a quarterback coach calling that game.
Absolutely. No question about it.
Like that.
No.
You don't call a game like that. So the conversation has to be between McDermott and the offensive coordinator. That is it. It just flat out has to be between those two. When they go into their space and they review the game footage, it has to be like that, and that has to be the change. And it's going to be painful, and it's going to be irritating to Bills fans and Bills Mafia and everybody out there. And it might even hurt Josh Allen's MVP campaign. It might.
This is about this is not saying you bring the MVP up. This is about Super Bowl. You're trying to win a Super Bowl. Like
I understand, but no, we gotta take this. We gotta take this in bits and pieces. That's the overarching goal, yes, but we know what a big time quarterback does for not only your market, the value of your friend, all the things. Like this is bigger than that. It's bigger than that. Super Bowl's big as well. I'm not saying MVP is bigger than Super Bowl, but what I'm saying is all these things are in consideration. One is not.
No, I understand. Yeah, we understand.
But that's a painful choice, and the only people that can make those types of choices are the head coach and the owner, GM and the owner. That's the group that needs to really look at this and really look at analyze and say, are we willing to justify some passing statistics for Stephon Diggs for Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, because I'm sure they would like Stephon to be Offensive Player of the Year as well. Are we willing to sacrifice some of that in order to sustain a ground game that quite honestly won't look spectacular?
Right.
That's not what I'm asking.
Right.
It just has to be effective and efficient in the times that you need it. But in order to do that, you got to practice. So yeah, you'll be in a dome. It'll be chill. You could throw the ball a billion times, get a billion yards and everything like that. Are you willing to sacrifice the time, energy, and effort to get the runs in, even on times like that? Those are the difficult conversations that the coach, the GM, and the offensive coordinator have to have if the owner's staying out of it as well. If the owner needs to be brought into it, and he needs to be the deciding factor on that, because ultimately that's what will get you a Super Bowl.
Yep. We move on to the game.
And for me, it's very clear it's the Super Bowl, but that's not entirely accurate for Bills Mafia. They love Josh Allen, and yes, the Super Bowl is important, but a Super Bowl brought by Josh Allen is important. Is the thing that's important.
Yep.
And you have to understand the mentality of your fan base to understand that. So it's very important that Josh Allen shines. It's very important.
We move on to the game of the week. Green Bay gets by Tampa Bay 14-12. This was a absolute rock fight. Green Bay's offense did nothing in the second half. Give Todd Bowles and the Tampa Bay defense credit for the adjustments. Late in the game, of course, Tampa Bay has a failure. It fails on a 2-point. Had a bad penalty. You can't get a delay of game back to back. They should have had back to back delay of games. You can't get a delay of game at your own home stadium on a play like that. You just that just can't happen. That cost them. Green Bay holds on. Green Bay also has some issues in terms of some situational football, like their last possession. They had a 2nd and 10 pass play, which to me made zero sense when you're trying to do two things. Number one, obviously you want the first down, but number one, you're trying to run the clock and trying to make the team use their timeouts. So if they do get the ball back, they have less timeouts to matriculate the football down the field. But for whatever reason, Green Bay on the 2nd and 10 decide to throw the ball. It open, and then not only so you throw the ball on 2nd and 10, it becomes 3rd and 10, and next thing you know, they get a sack and Green Bay's out of field position, out of field goal range. So it goes from 3rd and 10 to 3rd and 17. Mind you, the ball was on the Tampa Bay 42-yard line at the time. So they get no field goal. They don't force them to use timeouts, and Tampa Bay has plenty of time to get the ball back and go down the field as they did, and almost tied the game. Green Bay outplayed Tampa Bay in this game. They were the better team. Basically from the start of the game, they were the better football team. They deserved to win the game. Tampa Bay did not deserve to win this game. I wonder, and I know Mike Evans was out. That's his own fault. He was stupid for coming off the bench and being obsessed with Marshawn Lattimore, as we know they hate each other. So that was dumb, and he deserved to be suspended. But even beyond that, even when Evans has been on the field, this Tampa Bay offense has not looked good at all anytime during the year. Their defense is fine. They have a top 5 defense. We know Bowles, and their secondary is one of the best in the league. What are your thoughts on this game, and how concerned are you about the Tampa Bay offense?
I think concern is a bit stronger word, because I truly wish all evil upon upon Brady. So concern is not the exact word that I would use. How much am I reveling in how they are looking right now? A ton, so much. So, when everything is going good, it's all about Brady. Nah, F that. When everything's going bad, it's going to be all about Brady as well.
Yep.
Yep. We know what's going on. We know the struggles that's happening in his personal life.
Yep.
And that shit is impacting his his professional life.
No question.
And that's how it goes.
Yep.
And so that offense is his responsibility. He got all the power, he got all the things.
Yep.
That offense is
got areas out there.
Yep. So yeah, buck up, homie. Fix it. Make it happen. That's the thing. And so you don't bet against Brady until it actually happens. But I hope that's what I watch, because right now, I'm not impressed at all.
No,
like I
at all. No, they have not played well at all this season. They have not played well in any game.
I judge everything by how much it worries, like how much I'm concerned about it against my team. Right. And I'm not concerned about Tampa Bay at all.
No,
they don't stress me out in the least bit. So,
now, New Orleans and Green Bay are very good defenses.
I really hope this is the totality of Brady's fault. I really do.
Gotcha.
I really do. I hope that's what I'm watching. I just want to sit back and enjoy it. Because I'm gonna tell you, I don't expect anything to be fake. To be honest with you. So, I'm not in any way fearful. I'm not in any way fearful of Mr. Tom Brady and his offense at all. Nothing. Zero. Zero worry or concern.
Much bigger game for Green Bay than Tampa Bay. We know Tampa Bay, if they get the playoffs, they can win anywhere. Green Bay absolutely needs, if there comes down to a tiebreaker home field, Green Bay would absolutely need home field against Tampa Bay in a playoff situation, which obviously won't guarantee them. And we've seen that in the championship a couple of years ago.
Quiet as kept.
Go ahead.
Neither one of these teams are very impressive.
It's early. No, right now, yeah, it's early. It's early though. No, right, you're right. It's early, but it's early. So,
Neither one were impressive.
This was not a well played game at all. You talking about the game itself?
No, I mean neither one is
in
like
general.
I watched all their games.
Okay, got you. No, they haven't been impressive. No.
Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady are who they are because they are who they are, but that division is so weak.
It's bad. Yeah, both divisions are bad. Both divisions are bad. Yeah.
They can be. No, I'm talking about the NFC as a whole.
Yes, it is bad. No, it's bad.
If those are your top two teams in the NFC. Nah, the NFC ain't going nowhere.
No,
they can.
It's not. The NFC is not very good right now. Some games.
Your top two teams, and I'm not concerned.
Yep. No question about it. Games of note: Kansas City, Indianapolis. This was a game I thought that just Kansas City just came out, basically just showed up and thought that they thought that the game was over. They slept walk.
They doing this, but they never do it against us.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Indianapolis did not do anything. Indianapolis did not do anything spectacular in this game at all. They had 58 yards rushing. They only had 259 yards of total offense. Okay. So if I told you before the game that Indianapolis would only have 58 yards rushing and 259 yards to offense, you say Kansas City like 40, Indianapolis 10, basically, or 17. Kansas City went through emotions. They fucked around, and you let a team that's inferior you hang around, especially on the road. Anything can happen in the NFL. And because, again, not like Indianapolis doesn't have talent on both ends in terms of offensive line, defensive line. They do. But again, this is a game that Kansas City should not have lost this game to Indianapolis by any stretch of the imagination. We know they're clearly a much better team. But, we've seen Kansas City last year have moments like these, especially early on, where they kind of like go through emotions. I'm surprised it happened, Normally September, they have been dominant in September. I'm surprised, and Mahomes has had a phenomenal record throughout the course of his career in the month of September. So I was a little surprised by they just slept walk through the game. They just went through the emotions, and it cost them. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I know it is. I mean, it's exactly what you said. They're good for a couple of these games a year.
Yeah, at least two to three.
Like there's no concern nowhere, nothing.
No,
it's just like they played completely down to their competition. They thought it would be a cakewalk, and Indianapolis was frisky. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
And they took a quiet L. It just frustrates me. They refuse to do that again.
No, that's not going to happen.
I know. So, Merry Christmas, Indianapolis. Merry Christmas.
Baltimore, New England. This was at, again, the Lamar Jackson show. Lamar Jackson, we talking about MVP right now. Lamar Jackson would be at the top of my list. He has been, and I love the fact that all the Lamar Jackson hatred has been crickets so far, because he has been, through the first 3 games of the season, he's been all world. He's been unstoppable on Michael Vick, Virginia Tech type shit. Like, he has been unbelievable. 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. There's been no defense for him this year. None. It's fun. It's been fun to watch.
There's Baltimore next, who gets all the fun.
But like that like the level he's playing on right now is just ridiculous. And what happens with him, it can happen so quickly, where you think that he's having a pedestrian game, then boom, he breaks off a 40-yard run, and boom, you look up, it's like, oh damn, he got 3 touchdown passes. Like, yeah. So this game was all about Lamar Jackson, and New England having no answers for him whatsoever. And the fact that Baltimore's defense is another story. We know those struggles, but they are offensively, they've been basically lights out this year. With him. So yeah, New England not only loses the game, they lose Matt Jones. Tough break. That's the NFL. What are your thoughts on Lamar Jackson so far?
Yeah, Lamar Jackson's absolutely on one. Yeah, I was thinking about this last night. I was like, Lamar Jackson is your runaway MVP candidate right now. It's not even close. Like, I
Right.
know the
No.
numbers that my quarterback has.
No.
And I'm looking at Lamar Jackson. I'm going like, that dude is a monster right now. He's just a flat out monster. And you're right. Just unguardable. Unguardable. From every aspect. I like your comparison, Michael Vick. I thought you were gonna go NFL, and I like your comparison. No, actually, Virginia Tech, where like literally nobody could keep up
No.
with.
We was like, we haven't seen anything like this. That's what it was when it first came.
Yeah. No. He is in his zenith. He's in his zenith. So, this absolutely this should be his MVP year. He's in a zone. He's just in a zone. And so, you want to talk about somebody that worries me? Lamar Jackson worries.
Yes. Yeah.
Very
No. Well, yeah.
very much. Very much.
He's scary.
He is the MVP of the league right now. And that there's nothing else to be said on that. He just is. He's that dominant.
San Francisco, Denver, 11-10 game. Again, this game was a tough watch.
This game hurt my eye. I'll say not a very good game. This game hurt my eyes.
This was tough. It was tough. Right. It was tough. Very tough on the eyes.
No.
Not only does San Francisco lose the game, they lose Trent Williams, who's frankly one of the best players in the league and has been probably the best offensive lineman in the last 3 or 4 years. He's been that dominant. They had 3 turnovers. You get a nice drive out of Denver to end the game, but I have some other issues with their offense, and I'll get to that later. But Denver survives it. Again, you know, these offenses were just, oh my God, like can you this oh my, like what are we doing here? What are we doing? Do y'all practice offense? Do y'all watch? Are y'all practicing offense during the week? Because there's no way with the amount of talent those two teams have on offense that these offenses should be this bad. Like again, 2 very good defenses. We know San Francisco is a loaded defense. Denver has excellent personnel in their defense, but still, no, this was very tough on the eyes. I'll get to some of the Denver stuff later on. I'll save that. I don't want to put don't want to spill that in terms of my issues with what's going on there, but Denver does what it had to do, gets the home win. And again, the big story though is the fact that Trent Williams, and that changed the complexion of the game as well. When Trent Williams left the game, then Jimmy G had no chance, 0. It's not like they were playing well even when he was there, but at least with the protection. But after that, it was like the Denver pass rush had a feeding frenzy on Jimmy G. And again, Jimmy G, he's a winner, but Jimmy G does Jimmy G shit, like not knowing where you're at in the stepping out the back of the end zone, not knowing where you're at, like can't do that as a veteran quarterback. That just can't happen. And again, it was a 1-point game. That was 2 points. That's difference in the game. I'm sure there's no deep analysis for this game. Just ugly to watch.
I mean, honestly, I do have deep analysis.
Go ahead.
I actually told you this was the game that this is the first football game I put my eyes on from when I was running errands, doing all the stuff I needed to do that day. So I actually watched this with hungry eyes, like, ooh, like football, I want to watch football, and this is the game that's on. Let me really look and pay attention to this. And it was so god-awful. It was just so bad. It was so bad. In terms of just like, to your point, just competent offensive football. And so that even made it hard. Denver's defense is legit really good. Like, they're legit really good.
Right.
But my God, it just was so striking to look at a professional team with a future Hall of Fame quarterback just look so inept on offense all the time. It's just like, yo, what is going on here? In particular, it was, for me, it was towards like the end of the game. I don't even think Denver was winning yet at this point in time, but they might. No, I don't think they was winning. And it was a 3rd and 8, right? And maybe they weren't winning because that's why they had to. But point being, it was a 3rd and 8, and it was either kick a extremely long field goal, which we know did not work well for them last time.
No. Nope.
Or punt the ball, or go for it. Go or not punt. I keep going. It's 3rd and 8. That's the point. It's 3rd and 8. So you either go for it with the run. No, it's 3rd and 8, and it was the timeout situation. That's what this one was. In 3rd and 8 was a timeout situation. So you either pass for the first down, or you run to try to take a timeout away, right? And of course, he chooses run to take the timeout away. Here's my question: what year is this? Basically, what do all the offensive rules? How do they all skew? How do all the rules skew towards the offense? And why the F did you bring in Russell Westbrook if you're not going to throw it on a down like that? What was the point? If it's Drew Lock, I get it. But you brought him in for these reasons. What are you doing? What is happening? What is happening offensively? And the big thing is the players don't know what's going on. I watched their face. I watched their body language. They don't even believe in this offense.
No.
That coach is a dead coach.
No, I'm gonna get to him. No,
it went from I was just like, oh, is this just rookie head coach, or is this just not a good coach? Oh, this is an incompetent head coach.
I'll get to him. Yeah. No, I'm gonna get to him.
So on that part, I mean, and like you said, Jimmy G was Jimmy G in all of his glory.
Yes.
On that night, they gave that win away. It's just that simple. Denver should not have won that game, even though the defense played well. They just gave it to them.
Yeah, no question about it. We move on now to who won the week.
Bad game.
It was god awful. We move on to who won the week. I have the Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. I have Jalen Hurts in particular, not for Lamar Jackson. Jalen Hurts certainly. Jalen Hurts will certainly be in the MVP conversation. He is in the MVP conversation. He's been spectacular this year. That offense is rolling.
He is, but he just got here. You got to wait.
No, you got to wait your turn. No. You got to wait your turn. No, you got to wait your turn.
Having Lamar Jackson stats.
Right. No, you got to wait your turn. But he's
line of the MVP. Yeah. You got to wait your turn.
No, more than that. Yeah, you just. But he's playing great. The Eagles are clearly an improved football team. The draft picks, the AJ Brown trade that helped them. Also, they are clearly the class of that division. And they are looking, and who knows, with a weak NFC right now, who knows? Who did you have winning the week?
Winning the week, I would say the person that honestly, like, just kind of like in my mind, it was Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
He should have won the week that week. The comeback happened, but they came back.
Right.
So, like I would say, like Lamar Jackson is the obvious choice that comes to my mind. And then, what's one I always get home with, like, the Dallas Cowboy backup QB? What's his name?
Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush. He's been balling out. I can't
play well.
No,
he's played well.
That was an NFC East game
on the road.
Divisional, all the different things. The Giants was putting pressure on them. They like, I'll give Dable his flowers. He is coaching them very competently along. Like, even though they don't have all the horses by any stretch of the imagination, he's coaching and they're doing their thing offensively.
They look like an NFL football team.
Right,
they look like an NFL football team.
I'm just saying it wasn't a pushover or like a gimme win or anything.
No.
Like, Lamb had to fight and earn that victory, and he did. So I have to get I keep wanting to call him Lamb. What Rush? Rush earned that victory. He just did. So I would have to say he won the week. Also, I know I'm doing a lot, but Jacksonville.
I'll get to them.
Jaguars.
I'll get to them. Biggest
So,
disappointment. Who was your biggest disappointment?
Denver San Francisco game. God, I
I knew you was gonna say
I'm so disappointed because I wanted to watch good. I was excited to watch football. My brother was like, "This game's gonna be hard." But I was like, "You're being too rough," and he was so right. It was so bad. It was so bad. And so, who loses the week? Nathaniel Hackett, but I would also say the Kansas City Chiefs as well.
That's a
There's
good
no
one.
way
No, there you shouldn't lost. No, you can't lose. You shouldn't lose. Lost to the Colts.
There's
No,
no way.
not with the Colts playing
There's
like
no
the way they
way.
played. No, no.
There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. The only way you lose that game is if you take the foot off the gas pedal. You underestimate them. You don't come with your A game. All the stuff that they did. That's the only way they lose that game. So,
I have the Raiders.
That would be the biggest disappointment.
Yeah, I have the Raiders as the biggest disappointment. 0-3. There's no way that team has too much talent. They should not be 0-3. They should not be 0 losing to a Tennessee team that's not very good. We know how they're going to be inconsistent. We know that, but that team shouldn't be. There's no way that this team should be 0-3 with the talent that they have on the talent that they have on that team. It's just like in the additions that they made in the offseason. Like that is just I can make a case for them being the biggest disappointment of the year, to be honest with you. They've been that bad and that inconsistent. Like you just don't know what the Raiders are going to do from play to play. Like that, they are like it's remarkable how inconsistent they are. It really is. But yeah, they've to me was this week's biggest disappointment. That game.
Shane McDaniels can't coach anybody but Tom Brady.
It looks. That's what it looks like. It looks like.
Incapable of coaching anybody.
No, Josh McDaniels.
Thought he would learn some lessons, but really not.
Yeah, no. We like come on. We watched the Denver shit. Like we understood what like this is.
I mean, that was a while ago, and
it was a while ago, but still.
NFL franchise, you would have wanted him to learn lessons. I'm not putting the Denver thing on this, but what I will say is it looks like he's having a very tricky time coaching. Anybody else but Tom Brady?
Well, let's be honest with you. Let's be honest. I'm glad you bring Tom Brady up from this in terms of standpoint. Have there been any good coaches offensively have come out of New England that have left that have done anything without Brady? Like Charlie Weiss, like McDaniels, who else? I mean, Bill O'Brien came back. Like Bill O'Brien wasn't with them originally. He was already like that. Like he wasn't with them originally. So he like there hasn't like what offensive guy that's left New England has done anything. That's my point. Nobody. So I think it's clear kind of after like a decade's worth of we have a decade's worth of in terms of body of work of saying that these coaches like that is Belichick, Brady, Belichick, whatever. But it's not like being an offensive coach in New England has not meant much as far as what you should expect your head coach. Like I'm not like how many coaches do we need to see fall on their face before you realize that hey, Brady's greatest player ever and Belichick's the greatest coach ever, and maybe the offensive guy was just somebody that was just just there per se. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm doing it's just me. Question for Sapp. Miami or Philadelphia? Who's the better team right now?
Philadelphia. But it's close. It's very close.
Very close.
But the eye test says Philadelphia. But the accumulation of talent on Miami is impressive.
I got Miami.
They're not clicking. They're not clicking. You're being a hater.
No. No. Let me tell you why.
There's no way. There's no way. Philly's 3-0.
Rob. Let me tell you why. This is the bottom line. Philadelphia has beaten Detroit, Minnesota, Washington. Both Miami has wins over your team, and then last week Baltimore or at Baltimore. Like Miami to me is better. Like the NFC is strong. We just destroyed the NFC a couple minutes ago with Tampa Bay and Green Bay. Come on now. Come on. This is not.
I hear you.
Yeah, come on. It's close, like you said, it's very close. But the eye test tells me Miami that I'd take Miami right now by a nose. I've been impressed with Philadelphia. I was very impressed. I mean, their last two games, the games have been over at halftime. So they're like, no, Philadelphia is balling. But if if they played, I would lean towards Miami. So, but both teams have been extremely impressive, to say the least. Both of them are 3-0. Do they play this year? I wonder if they play this year. I don't think we. No, you don't play NFC East, so I don't think they play this year. Stock up, Jacksonville. I got a chance to see a lot of that Charger game. Everybody wants to be like, oh, this is the Chargers being the Chargers. No. Chargers did not play well, but Jacksonville fucking took it to them. That defense is real. It's a top 5 defense right now. I told you about Trevor Lawrence. He's going to be a franchise guy. He's going to be a difference maker. He's going to make everybody better if they got some competent. I was on the Trevor Lawrence bandwagon. If they got competent coaching, which Peterson so far has.
My brother loves Peterson. Yeah. So
I don't love Peterson, but he is an NFL coach.
No. I mean, he loves Peterson. You love Lawrence.
I love, yes. Very impressed with Jacksonville. I just don't know how they lost to us. Like that's the like watching the last 2 weeks. I don't understand how they lost to us, but it was week 1. So, but yeah, the last 2 weeks their defense has just shut down, has destroyed Indianapolis, and they just completely took Herbert and they lit the Chargers up. Like they physically took it to them. Ran the football, were clearly the more physical team out of the two. So I'm very like Jackson again. I'm not going to get crazy about playoffs and like that, but they will be a 6 to 8 win team, I feel. And they most importantly, you're seeing the strides that Trevor Lawrence is playing has taken, and that coming into this year. I mentioned it. We talked about it. That will be the most important thing, his development and growth. And so far, he's been like you can't have a better start if you're Jacksonville. You're 2-1 with a great win against the Chargers on the road. You said, yeah, you had Jacksonville. Obviously, you're high on them as far as standpoint because you said they were amongst your candidates for winning the week. What were your thoughts on that game?
From start to finish. I'm somewhat. I mean, like I'm impressed. No, impressed is too strong a word. I am happy that Jacksonville looks like a competent football team. I think we might be overselling this a little bit because they were so incompetent last year.
Yes, so that's part of it. Yeah,
I'm happy for them that they look like a competent football team, but I'm not at all worried and concerned about them in the league yet.
No,
at all.
No.
So good for them. Good for them right now. Good for them. They're a plucky young team. Good for them. They're growing.
Stock down.
Like as a young franchise, these are the steps you want to take.
Baby steps. It's baby steps. It's baby steps. Let's be honest. It's baby steps. Yes. Stock down, Nathaniel Hackett. I've been waiting for this basically since the podcast started. So I don't get the idea that there is this, and I've heard this mentioned in the broadcast. Well, there seems to be a conflict with philosophies between Russell Wilson and Nathaniel Hackett. Who the fuck is Nathaniel Hackett? Like, Russell Wilson is a Hall of Fame quarterback who's a Super Bowl champion, who's been the most winningest quarterback in the last decade, basically, as far as regular season. Has won more games in the last 10 years outside of Tom Brady than any quarterback in the league. What your philosophy and conflicting what his skill set? No, motherfucker, whatever Russell Wilson wants to do, that's the philosophy. Like, who are you? You think you're Bill Walsh? Like Nathaniel Hackett? Like, why is this even a conversation about conflicting philosophies and trying to blend chemistry? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, I don't care. Like, do you realize? And I think this is what happens, right? You'll see a guy leave a Hall of Fame quarterback, and that guy gets some of the credit because the Hall of Fame quarterback says nice things. Like Aaron Rodgers is like, hey, I love Nathaniel. We had great chemistry. That's beautiful. it's still fucking Aaron Rodgers, and that's Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur. Let's not kid ourselves in terms of what that offense has done the past couple of years, and the MVPs from Aaron Rodgers. Like this, like I don't understand why this is even a conversation as far as the Nathaniel Hackett's offensive philosophy. You have a excellent running game. You have excellent receivers. It's not like Russell Wilson has not played with a great running back before. So yeah, you can still run the ball and still Russell Wilson like incorporate what Wilson does well into what you're doing. I don't understand why this is even chemistry. Like what are we talking about here? Like what this is like what to your point that this guy has no business coaching an NFL football team. That's what it comes down to. So stock way fucking down, not just down, just way down. I mean, you would think that this is my team. The way I'm getting, this is how it is. I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. Like, you haven't your system. Who, like I said, who are you? And to your point earlier, what is the point of bringing in a $245 million quarterback who's going to be in the Hall of Fame? Why?
He's really is. This job is way too big for him. He's
my goodness!
Early on, he's a dead man walking. If I were them, I would just.
I think I would pull the plug. I think I would. I'd be like, y'all would just cut my losses.
No, this ain't gonna work. We can't play around with Russell.
No, not with this roster. This roster is a talented roster. Yeah. Like, no.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah. It's going to be about them getting their ego out of the way on this one.
Yeah.
Just being like, I mean, I'm talking about management's ego out of the way. Just being like, we got to stop. We got to fix this meeting. Well,
I mean, what they're going to have to do, it's ironic because they're going to have to do the same thing that Seattle did with Russell Wilson back in the day. I forgot the quarterback. Matt Flynn. You know what? Matt Flynn. He's better. No, Russell Wilson's better. We messed up. This is it. He's the better quarterback. That's it. And the rest was history. So that's what they're going to have to do.
It's easier to do that to the players than it is to do that to the coach.
Right.
Especially in that first year, and now we're talking about like a first year midseason firing. I think that's fairly unprecedented, right? Like I can't remember the last time that happened.
Right.
So, but this is an unprecedented case.
Oh my goodness! Oh, you talk about bad offense. That offense is.
It's got off. It hurt my. I mean, I'm serious. It hurt my eyes to watch that. It hurt my eyes.
Yeah. No. So yeah, stock way down. Week 4 preview. Should be a very interesting. Got some great matchups in week 4. Again, this game. Oh man, this game is. Even Thursday night should be fun to watch. Miami versus Cincinnati. Cincinnati gets on the board, beating the lonely Jets. They keep Burrow upright. No coincidence that no sacks equals points on the board. Miami coming off an emotional win against Buffalo. I like Cincinnati in this game because I think you guys took a lot out of Miami. Like, especially going to Miami as a travel, which that means they're going to lose a day of preparation. I really like Cincinnati in this game from a physical standpoint. I really do. Despite, and I understand we haven't been high on Cincinnati and the protection issues, but this is one of these scheduling losses, I feel. What are your thoughts?
It's tough. I get exactly what you're saying. Short week. I get
on the
exactly
road.
What you're saying. I do. I get exactly what you're saying. I just think Miami's way better.
They are. I mean, they're clearly a better team, and that again, they're pass rushing against the offensive line.
I get everything that you're saying. I just think they're way better. I think they're way better. And so, like, if things are more even, and this is just kind of like more of a normal matchup, Sunday to Sunday, then I am decidedly like Miami's winning this game. So
at least 2 touchdowns. Yes.
All the things you said give me hesitation, but I just think Miami's better.
No, they're clearly better. No.
Let's not get crazy here.
No, exactly. No.
All those problems that
they're still there. They're still there.
They're still there. And one thing, Miami's defense flies around, and they're so good everywhere. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be challenging for Cincinnati, and our coaching is just flat out better than Cincinnati's on the defensive side of the ball, and so after a week of not really eating, Hill or Waddle are going to go off. Like, it's just going to happen. So, I do see a close game. The end result is not clear in my mind. So I hear you. I hear you on everything. I have no pushback against it. I just think the eye test says to me Miami's way better. So I probably go with the better team, but I acknowledge everything that you're saying.
Should be I expect a very close game. Either way. Buffalo, Baltimore. What are you gonna do with Lamar Jackson? First of all, how many of those stars are coming back for this game? We
gotta see. So like that's why I can't know. We gotta see. There's no hearing right now.
Okay, yeah, it's only Wednesday. That's right.
Yeah. All the way up. They'll push this all the way up to the reports have to come out.
Yeah.
It terrifies. I mean, Lamar always terrifies me. I really would have liked a healthy team. I don't love the hide out for the year just in general for the team. I don't think the answer is what are you going to do for Lamar, because I think there's a pretty good coaching book in terms of like the things you want to try to do to limit him.
Keep him in the pocket. Don't lose contain.
Yeah, crush the running game. First of all, that's the first part. You have to crush their running game completely, and make him a pocket passer, and then do all the things that you're talking about. The problem is Lamar cancels all that shit out because he'll make up his own stuff, and so it doesn't matter. So again, where the Bills win more often than not is by putting pressure on the other team's offense consistently.
Right.
And so this is our stretch right here, because the back half of the season we did this is going to be cakewalk. So this is the stretch right here. This is 3 out of 4 games against top-notch competition. We're here now, and so this will tell the tale of the tape. By the way, Miami Dolphins schedule is cake, and they might be in first place for a while now. I'm just gonna put that out there, but it's not gonna worry or stress me out. That's just the reality of the situation with the way these schedule. It's the back end of their schedule that's going to improve for now. But anyways, I digress. So I say this to say that the way that in which that we contain Lamar Jackson is essentially kind of like the same way we were thinking about that high power offense in Miami,
right?
Which is but a little bit of the thing, you didn't have to focus on the run game as much with Miami. We're gonna have to bow up big time against the run game with Baltimore, and then we're just gonna have to limit their possessions by how much our offense has on the field and put up 30 points. 30 plus.
I love your team in this game because I watched the Baltimore defense, and that defense is bad. You should be able to put up 35 to 40 points against that defense. I don't see how you don't put up 35 to 40 points. The Baltimore defense is hard. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be a very entertaining, high-scoring game. I could easily see 41-31, that type of deal. But I just think they have nothing for your offense. I think your offense, similar to you're saying Miami's going to have a bounce-back performance against Cincinnati with their offense. I think your offense is going to definitely put up no less than 35 points in this game. I watched even the Patriots scored a point. And the Patriots offense is not even good. The Patriots got like whatever, almost cracked 30 against Baltimore's defense. Baltimore's defense is not very good. It's bad.
We're gonna be
It's bad.
focused. The other thing that bothered me about the Miami team as the week grew closer, it was just like, oh shit, this is an entirely new offense. And Frazier and McDermott usually have to get an eye on you before they dial you in completely. We know Baltimore very well.
Yes.
To your point, and so yeah, Lamar will be Lamar. I'm not going to even sit here and pretend that he won't be.
Yeah, that ball. Yeah, I'm here.
So yeah, Lamar will be Lamar. I won't pretend like he won't be, but we will have stops, and then you're absolutely right. It will become on their defense to stop us, and you're 100% right. At no point in time am I worried about the Baltimore Ravens defense.
No, not at all.
And we're angry.
Yes, no. You're gonna be motivated.
We're really focused at the losses. So I'm not worried about us not having a competent game plan that makes all the sense in the world, and I'm not worried about our execution. The only thing that worries me is Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
As he should.
Yes, 100%.
Who the hell knows how great he's going to be? It's just that simple.
Tampa Bay, Kansas City, Super Bowl rematch from 2 years ago. Both teams coming off losses. This game is now. This game could be in Minnesota, depending on the weather. They're expecting a hurricane in Florida that's on the horizon. So this game could be moved to Minnesota, depending on the weather. What are your thoughts on this early season matchup between these Super Bowl hopefuls?
KC. I actually think KC shows the world the difference between where the NFC and the AFC are right now. They're not going to overlook Tampa Bay. They took a bad loss to there. Tampa's not that good. I mean, let me start. The offense is not playing well. Let me be nice.
The defense is good.
Defense, no, that's what I said. Let me be nice. I'm being nice. Because nobody gives a shit about their defense. Like, you can't play these games now you're making me mad. You can't play these games where when they're humming, Brady gets all the credit and all this stuff, all the offense gets all the credit. But then when they're not humming, now we talking about we want to bring up the defense. I don't care. Nobody cares about the defense.
No.
Nobody brings them up.
No.
So yeah, they're competent. They're a competent football team. But Kansas City's way better.
Yes. Yep.
And so like I said, they're coming off that bad loss. Kansas City's way better.
I expect a close game. The NFL, these first couple of weeks, there have been as many one-score games the first couple of weeks as there has been in the last few seasons. The margin of error in these games has been razor thin as far as how many close games there have been. So it seems to me like there's a pattern with, and we talked about this I think 2 podcasts ago, that the offenses are not there yet. It's still September, the weather, and what have you.
Here's what I will say.
Go ahead.
If Tampa does not turn the ball over, it'll be a close game. I just don't think that's going to happen. I think they will give the ball up 2 times, a couple of times. And so, but yeah, if Tampa plays a clean game, I agree. I actually do agree with you as I was thinking about it in my head. I just had them with a couple turnovers.
Yeah.
I just saying I agree with you because I just had a couple turnovers bookmarked. So if they play a clean game, it's going to be close as well.
Yeah, should be a very interesting game to say the least. Mahomes and Brady is always fun. And we'll see if, Kansas City can rebound off that just putrid performance at, laying that egg in Indianapolis, in Indianapolis. Again, to your point, I do like Kansas City in the game. to win a very close game. You have any thoughts on the now it's almost a week later on the Ime Udoka situation?
Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah. Nope. That's
I
too much to go into.
It's a lot. No, it's a lot. And again, the details are.
I'm very fast. I'm still in this Phoenix Suns space.
Okay.
I'm fascinated by
that's going
there. Basketball wise, like I'm very much in the Phoenix Suns space. The Udoka stuff just feels gross to me right now. I'm
glad you bring that word up. Because again, the reporting on this has been it's been just bad to say the least. Just remember this, people, folks. There is a human element to this situation that is not getting talked about enough, or is just where we're at in society. Nia Long have a 2-year-old son, okay, who's going to have to hear about this shit for God knows how long. You have a situation where you have a woman in terms of Nia Long who was looking for houses in Boston. And then, of course, more importantly, you have staffers that were basically thrown under, through, and over a bus in terms of it's like, oh, or you must be sleeping with him, or you must be sleeping with him. So the human element on it, like we could talk about, there's been the sensationalism of this shit, the spicy and all this, tardy type shit that goes on with affairs and things of that nature in sports and what have you. People got hurt in this shit. Some people got hurt. And I don't ever want to lose sight of that of that. There's some lives that are altered that will probably never be the same. That comes out of this. I'm not forget about Udoka, his job, all that, whatever. Forget about that. I'm not even talking about that. I'm not even going to bring even the racial component into this. I'm just talking about people, real people got hurt or are getting hurt, and so don't lose sight of that when you see a situation like this. That's the part of it. Because again, we know some things, but we don't know. There's of course that there's more to come out and what have you. And I'm not even into the whole speculate and what have you. That shit is, that's that hot take, whatever. But I just wanted to mention that, like, just don't forget that don't forget about the human element of that situation. That is going to wrap it up for this edition of the Real Deal Podcast. As always, thanks to one Robert Sapp for joining us. Joining me.
All right, sir. Appreciate you having me.
No problem, and we will see you.
Have a good one.
And you too. We will see you next time. So right. You will be able to get this podcast. This podcast will be up by tomorrow morning. Enjoy the rest of your week, NFL, college football, and what have you. I will see you next time. Have a great evening.